it's not a great way to safety.
The Defense Department ordered the movement of another 4,000 troops to the Middle East. What do you see coming in Hezbollah and Israel with respect to American involvement, Professor Sachs?
The main job of a U.S. president is to stop the war machine. If you ask any general, the answer always is escalate. We can win, Mr. President. We can win. We can dominate. That's their job. But we're supposed to have diplomats who have a very different job. Unfortunately, we have an extremely weak diplomatic side right now, almost non-existent. The war machine dominates. The President of the United States has not been strong enough to keep this in control. That's why we have raging wars in 2 zones, and likely, or I won't say likely, quite possibly, a third where we're revving up. So yes, we're sending more troops. The war is expanding. Israel has us around its finger. We can't seem to say no to Netanyahu, especially before an election. Everyone is afraid or courting the money or afraid of being seen to be not 1,000% in favor of whatever depredation Israel is committing at the moment. So this is the weakness of this administration. Before
we go to a clip of President Biden expressing what I think you will agree, and you heard him say it, is an absurd opinion on the state of affairs between Ukraine and Russia. In your comings and goings at the UN, have you picked up any hint or scuttlebutt or reliable information about whether or not Prime Minister Netanyahu will be formally charged and indicted for war crimes?
Not a word, but I have picked up a lot of movement towards the state of Palestine really becoming the path to peace, because there is a lot of diplomatic movement despite the United States now that we need a path to peace. The United States, everyone is hoping or surmising that when the whole world is so clear on the solution, that the United States eventually is going to come along and stop promoting war and actually get on the side of peace.
Did the Mossad commit war crimes by the use of explosive material in the walkie-talkies, cell phones, and pagers of people in Lebanon that resulted in 3,000 injuries and hundreds of deaths?
Undoubtedly, there is a convention of the United Nations against booby-trapped devices, precisely this kind of occurrence. This was a terrorist attack. Apparently, it was an attack mainly against the civilian workers of Hezbollah who use these pagers, not against the military forces, as has been discussed. I'm not sure if that's the case, but that is what I hear. People should understand, by the way, what are these injuries? The pager beeped, people looked into the pager, and then their eyes were blown out. This is one of the major injuries that came from this. The loss of the eyes from these exploding devices as people looked down at their pagers that then exploded. And it's women, it's children, it's people in the marketplace, it's health workers, it's people going about their business. This was a terrorist attack, which shows, by the way, also, because one should have a pretty high confidence that the CIA was either directly involved or knew all about it. This was not only against international law, very explicit international law on booby-trapped devices, and absolutely a terrorist attack, but it shows how our supply chains absolutely are becoming suborned by Western intelligence agencies. Israel does it, the United States does it. We put our finger at China, but we're the ones doing these abuses. And Israel should be held to account.
Do we fund? I know we're funding the IDF. Do we fund Mossad also? Is there an argument to be made that the American CIA or whoever dispenses these funds was involved in this genocidal act of blinding innocent civilians?
Look, we're involved with everything Israel does, and whether we're directly involved in every step, we're involved in funding the whole operation. We're involved in enabling the whole operation every single day. These are our weapons. It's our money. It's shared intelligence. It's close relations between the CIA and Mossad, very close. And in the past, because of that closeness, when there has been an effective American president, they've sometimes said, no, stop, you can't do that. When Israel, Britain, and France decided to militarily take over the Suez Canal in 1956, Eisenhower told them, no way, you stop. And there have been other occasions where a strong president says to Israel, you stop. That's actually the job of the American president, because when you, as I always keep repeating, and sorry to repeat myself, but when you have $1 trillion invested in the war machine, believe me, it's always revving. And generals always have a great idea, and American allies, allies, so-called, they don't do me any good and you any good in security, but right. Ukraine and Israel and others want to use that $1 trillion war machine and then tell us, don't worry about World War III. It's just absolutely unbelievable.
Which do you think will